As investigators search for a suspect and the murder weapon in the vicious killings of 4 college students in Moscow, Idaho, those who knew and loved them are struggling with a sudden loss.
My heart is broken for all 4 of the victims and for their families and close friends.
Partial autopsy reports for the 4 friends released on Thursday, the county coroner indicating the time of death was sometime after 2 a.m.
It's pretty traumatic when there's 4 dead college students who have been stabbed to death in one location.
The autopsies also showing all 4 victims were killed by what was described as a bigger knife. They had extensive injuries from multiple stab wounds, and that the wounds varied, including different places people were stabbed and the amount of times. The coroner did not say where in the home the victims were found or whether they had defensive wounds, showing they attempted to fight back. Investigators are now working to determine whether the suspect's DNA might have been left at the scene.
Well, looking to see if there are some clues that are on them. Some of the suspects' blood, perhaps, or something under somebody's fingernails. 2
other female roommates who were not being named at this time were home at the time of the attack, police say, but they were not harmed. While investigators haven't ruled out anyone, the county district attorney telling Savannah and Hoda Thursday those roommates are not under suspicion.
Anybody who might have knowledge is considered persons of interest at this point. As far as suspects, I don't believe so.
Authorities insist this attack was targeted and isolated, but have given no hints on motive and warned that a killer is still at large, telling a frightened community to remain vigilant.
And overnight, one of the fathers of the victims, Xana Kernodle, told KTVK in Arizona that he thinks that the autopsy shows that his daughter fought back. He called her a tough kid. Now, we talked to the coroner yesterday about bruises that were found on some of the victims, but they said at this point it is still too soon to tell whether those were defensive wounds or not. Back to you guys.
All right, Gadi Schwartz first there. Gadi, thank you.
Let's get more insight and perspective on this investigation. Casey Jordan is with us. She is a criminologist, a behavioral analyst, a professor at Western Connecticut State University, and an attorney, so certainly well qualified to talk about this. But it really is a mystery, Casey, what may have happened here, and police are not telling us very much.
Yeah, I don't want to think they're in over their heads, but we would like a lot more information by now if things were going well. And the fact that we are now Friday and this happened on Sunday, and they don't have any suspect, increases the chances that it could be an outlier. They keep saying that it's targeted, but we can't rule out the possibility that it could be a stranger.
Yeah, I was going to say outlier. You mean stranger.
Yeah. They just talked about how one of the victims fought back. So you would imagine it was such a gruesome and grisly scene, and maybe some evidence that some of them may have fought back. Did you find it odd that the roommates were there in the house at the time, and yet, no one reported it to police for hours and hours?
Well, you would think that's odd, except that having taught college for 35 years, I know what 20-year-olds are like on Saturday nights.
Right.
They party, they sleep till noon on Sunday, and this is a large, rambling house. 3 stories, 6 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms. Assuming these victims were, for instance, on the first floor and the 2 other girls were sleeping on the 3rd floor, and if music was playing and if it's normal for partying to go on until 3 or 4 in the morning, then it wouldn't be unusual. I think that they woke up, discovered it, probably made the 911 phone call, and are completely traumatized, which is why we are not hearing from them at this point.
When police, they were pretty quick to call it targeted and isolated. What is the kind of evidence an investigator would see that would lead them to that conclusion that quickly?
I worry that they have tunnel vision because there was no sign of forced entry. They led with that. And I've got to tell you, people leave their doors unlocked sometimes in Idaho. College kids are notorious for forgetting to lock the door. So just because there was no sign of forced entry doesn't mean that it was someone who knew them. It's probably, most likely, a suspect in between, somebody who knows of them, maybe was stalking one of the girls, interested in their activity in that house, not particularly a friend or someone known to them, not particularly a stranger, but most likely someone in that community who had been fantasizing about something like this for a very long time.
All right, Casey Jordan. Casey, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Good to be here.
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't miss the Today Show every weekday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 Pacific on our streaming channel, Today All Day. To watch, head to today.com/allday or click the link right here.